So sitting in whatever way is comfortable for you. Closing your eyes. Taking a few deep breaths to let go, to release, to clear. And then to start bring that breath into an equal inhale, exhale pattern. Nice and deep and full. Inviting in softness to our body, openness to our heart, ease into our spirit. Welcome back after a week off. Keep in mind as we move through class today to pay attention to your body from the inside, to do what feels right to you, to notice if areas are tight or sore. It may be the areas that are always tight and sore, or maybe it's something different just because some of you may not have practiced last week. Letting a wave of softness flow from our crown to our toes. And then dropping our awareness to our heart center, maybe placing a hand over our chest, one over our belly, just taking a moment to, every inhale, fill our heart up and our body up with what we need. Reminding ourselves that in the present moment, one way to bring us peace and ease and clarity to any situation is to ground ourselves, to let go of the worries about the past or the future, and just to be here in this moment. So bring peace into your body. And take a moment to set your own intention. Keeping your hands where they are, or bringing your hands into prayer position if that works for you. Take your 3 breaths. At the end of that 3rd breath, let's take a moment to start moving our head, waking up our neck, side to side motion or chin to chest or both. Maybe even a little deeper, one taking the chin down and around, half semicircle. Every movement with our eyes closed, or every intentional movement, we can feel our body from the inside and see where we're noticing it in our body. So let's take a few breaths with our arms lifting, spreading those fingers, exhaling out. Again, big breath in and up, reach, lengthen, exhale out. One more, and on this 3rd one, we're going to start a little twisting motion for our spine. So we're going to take those hands to one side. It can be just a tiny twist, and then come back to center and go the other way. Or it can be a deeper twist, whatever feels right in your body. Move it side to side at your own pace. It's a good opportunity to feel it in your body. Feel the twist from the belly. Feel what it's doing in your neck, your shoulders, your low back. Giving you a chance to do one more each way, and hold this one a little longer if you're ready for it. Keep the spine tall, reach back with your hand, twist from the belly, take your neck around, and just hold it for a couple breaths. And then take it to the other side. And do the same. And let's come back to center. And we're going to move our whole torso, so our sits bones, I like to call them the sitting bones. I like that better than sits bones, but they are truly sits bones. We're just going to rock on those bones and go in a circle. Waking up the low back and the hips, the trunk. One more time, and then we'll go the other way. Circle the other way. Nice and big. Beautiful. Bring it back to center. Sit up tall. Let's bring those arms out to the side, not letting the shoulders rise up. Bring them down. Reach through the fingertips. We're going to start with just some crisscrosses. Different hand on top each time. Bending at the elbow. Keeping them kind of loose. And just being arm motion here to warm up. But then we'll start to add a little more action. Drawing back through the shoulder blades. Reaching forward and rounding a bit. Opening the chest. Firing up the shoulders. Switching those hands, one on top. Let's do 4 more. Each hand gets a chance on top 4 times. Last one. Beautiful. Now take a moment with those shoulders. Just roll them back. Make it feel good. Roll them back nice and big. And then roll them forward. All right, let's take it over to all fours. Waking up that low back hip area. We're just going to swing. Chase our tail a little. For me, it's always warming up and loosening up before I can really feel things. Adding a figure 8 if you want, or a bigger creative motion. And then sink it back to a child's pose, or you can always substitute an extended puppy if child's pose doesn't feel right to you. But we're going to either drop back with our knees together or our knees wide. I'm going to let you choose. I'm going to get my attendants real quick while you sink your hips to your heels or lift your hips if you want to do extended puppy. Let yourself be soft where you can. 3 more breaths. We're going to lift it back up to all fours and come into tabletop alignment. Fingers spread, shoulders over wrists, knees under hips. Finding the base of our spine, we're going to take some cow and cat. So we drop our belly, raise our gaze, coming into cow. From the base of the spine, we arch up, look back at our thighs. Cat, press up, press down into the mat, lift up. Do the arms. Feel that stretch in several places, hopefully in your low back, your belly, through the shoulder. Everything starts at the base of the spine. Let's do 2 more of each. All right, from here, rolling towards the back of the mat, we're going to wake up those feet, dipping our heels, dipping our knees. If this is uncomfortable, you can press up to a soft kneed forward fold faster than I do. This feels good to my feet, so I'm going to stay here a moment longer. And then we'll all press up the back of the mat into that forward fold. Continue to wake up your toes, your ankles. Just creatively moving to make them warm up and feel good. Working up your legs. Maybe your knees need a little rotation here. A little pedaling motion, and that's going to wake up your hips as well. Move those around. Move your hands side to side if that helps your low back. Keeping a bend in the knees here. We haven't really warmed the legs up yet, so forward fold for me is not truly a forward fold until I do. Let's go halfway up. Now extend your spine long. Press away from your body or away from the floor. Lengthen. Turn your gaze if you want. Legs are straight. Back is flat and straight. And then we're going to put a bend in those knees. Press down through the feet. Take it up. Moving chair. Wake up the legs and the arms. Lifting up. Lowering down. Sending your weight back toward your heels. Bending at the knees. We're going to do a couple more of these, then we're going to add a challenge on if you want to take it. We're going to start to lift up and lift up onto the balls of our feet. So we lift up and get high up there and then sink back down. Roll the weight to your heels. Lift your toes. Let's do 3 more and then we're going to hold it up. Strengthen our feet. One, and this one, take it up. Lift up your heels. Balance on the balls of your feet. Reach and spread those fingers. One more breath. Sink it down. Come into a chair. Weight goes to the heels. Lift your torso up. Press your palms together. Bend your knees. We're going to do that again. Lift it up. Reach up, stretch up. Strong feet. Sink it down. Strong chair. Beautiful. Stand it up. Shake those legs out. We're going to do a little hip flexor warm up before we go into some of our positions. So starting on your right foot, let's lift that left knee up. You have options here. You can wiggle that foot and ankle around, point and flex. You can add crazy arms to challenge your balance. But we're just warming this left hip flexor by lifting that knee up. And warming our whole body if you want to, or just holding up there. One more breath. Now, let's take our right hand, cross it across our body, push knee and hand together, tall through the spine, twist from the belly a little bit to the left. Maybe you're going to go a lot to the left, maybe just a little. Holding this up, not with your hand, but by the power of the hip flexor here. Can you feel it in your low back? Bringing it back to center, release, shake it out. We're going to go over now. I'll be a little wobblier because my left leg is never as strong as my right for balance. So coming into the position here, challenging, maybe moving that foot and ankle, maybe moving your arm. Nice full breaths. One more breath, and then we're going to take that left arm across. Reach, press in the knee into the palm, twist from the belly, around to the right. Remember not to hold that knee up with your hand. One more breath. Back to center we go. Shake that side out. All right, this is going to be a little bit of choice for you, how it feels best to warm up your left hip flexor. So we're going to, again, stand on our right leg and lift. Your options are to take it out to the side, to do circles, to stand up tall and bring your leg behind and in front, or to be creative and do it however you want. I'm going to give you several breaths, so I'm going to do a combination of things that helps my left hip and hip flexor warm up and feel a little looser. The best thing for me is always circles, but sometimes it takes a moment to get ready for the circles. Couple more breaths. Try the other side. Lifting that right foot, choosing your way to move that feels right to you. Couple more breaths. And release. All right, let's take it wide. Coming into our, getting our legs ready for our sunflowers. We're going to go up and down, move it around. Shift. And when you're ready, we go up with our arms, sink down, tilt forward, and sweep. Sunflower wakes up everything. Two more, and then we're going to add some rotation. Choose a side. Circles. Two more. Circles the other way. Big circles. Loose. One more. Beautiful. Sink into your goddess. Tall spine, elbows out from shoulders. Draw them even a little bit to the back of your body. Opening your chest. Knees go wide. Power pose. Let's take a little pulse down, just in case all around where everything connects needs to be loosened up back there. Just bounce it a little. One more breath. Beautiful. Stand up tall. Take the feet parallel. Take them wide. We're going to start with just a few bending forward at the waist here, doing our due diligence on the back of the legs where everything connects. Windmills. 3 more each side. Bending at the waist. Legs straight. Excellent. Come back up, reach around, open the chest, interlace the fingers if you want, draw back, stretch the arms out, hang your head if you want, or stay upright, your choice. When we're hanging our head, those hamstrings are engaged so we don't tip over. So it isn't a stretch yet. It may feel better for you to stay upright. 2 more breaths. Release those hands to the floor, take the feet wider, make it a stretch now. Feet planted firmly, legs straight, moving around to get your best stretch. And maybe that's truly what you need, is to go forward, to go to the side, stay in the middle, lower your head. Figure out where you're feeling it on the backs of your legs or your inner legs, wherever you might need it. Take the stretch. To warm up those shoulders, we're going to do some twists in the middle position. So work your way back to center. I have to draw my feet in closer so I can support myself without my hand. Once I'm in the right position, I gently put my hand down and start my twist, opening up to the side, reaching that arm to the sky. So it's a chest opener, an arm stretch. I can feel it through my shoulders and even the backs of my legs. So many parts. You might not feel all of those. You might only have it a few places that you can feel it. Let's take it to each side twice more. Taking it back to center. Hop or heel toe your feet into normal forward fold, distance apart. Room for 2 fists there between your big toes. Point those big toes forward. See if you can get a stretch now in the back of your legs now that we are more warmed up. Your head hangs. Your chest gets closer to your thighs. Your fingers press into something, the floor, a block, even if that means bending your knees. My legs never get truly straight, even though I try. I can definitely feel the stretch though in my hamstrings. 2 more breaths here in our forward fold. Let's lift it up halfway. Press away from your body if you're using your shins. Turn your gaze if you want. Bend your knees when you're ready. Press down through the feet. Take it up. It's time for an oblique stretch, a side stretch. Reach up. Interlace if you want. Take a lean out to the side. And then a lean to the other. Maybe you want to do that one more time. And then we're going to come back to standing. Front of the mat now. Mountain. Feet are hips distance apart. Working our way up our body with awareness and alignment. Got a nice inward spiral of the shins. Gonna get a little wider feeling at the hips when we do that. Work our way up the body. Tall spine, shoulders back, palms face away. Reach those fingertips for the floor. Take a moment to just check in with your balance here, making sure you're not all on your toes or all on the heels. Find a center position, centering yourself within your own balance. On your next inhale, lift those arms and work your way to the floor. However you need to do it. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Put those hands to the floor. Step your left leg back into runner's lunge. Heel lifts, leg straightens, hips stay level. You can rock it. Front of the left leg, back of the right gets a little stretch when I rock. My foot, which always needs a little love, feels good when I press through the heel, so make it feel good to you. And then, when you feel like you're in a good position, press up, coming into a high lunge, lifting, lifting, lifting that torso up, stretching and lengthening the hip flexor on the left side, keeping the legs straight, the heel lifted, adding arms however you choose, at heart center or all the way up. Front knee, we check in for position. It should be over the front ankle and you should be able to see first and second toes when you look down. Little strength move. I like to do double duty. We're going to rock it forward. You can step it forward, step it up, or just rock it forward and lift that left leg up. A 2-breath, one-legged hold. And back to mountain. Checking in with your alignment a little faster. On your next inhale, lift those arms, work your way down. Inhale halfway. Hands to the floor, right leg goes back. Same thing. Take a moment in your runner's lunge if you want it, need it, to make the foot feel good. And the back of the leg. And the front of the right leg. When you're ready, press it up to the higher lunge, lifting that torso, stretching, hip flexor on the right side, adding the arms as needed to increase that stretch. Finding your strength and power, stepping it up, and then lifting or lifting right up into your one-legged balance. 2 breaths. Back to mountain. A faster tune in. Next inhale, lift your arms. Work your way down. This time we're going to a plank. You can choose your level. Working it back. Going to be strong through our core, going to lower our butt down. You can have knees down if you need them, or go down onto your forearms if you need to get off your wrist. Find a plank that works for you. Breathe. Make sure your butt's not cheating up too high. Or wherever you are, take it to your downward facing dog. Make it playful, make it fun, make it feel good to the backs of your legs. Pedaling, rocking your hips. Or even if it's your back and arms that need the stretch, you can come forward into your plank, bend your knees deeply, lift up and stretch. You decide what feels good. And then bring it back into a more balanced position, even if you have a bend in the knees like I do. You can still feel that big stretch up the arms and back to the top of the sits bones. And then lower your heels just a little, but keep a bend. Balance it out so both your legs and your arms are sharing the weight. Balanced. It's a resting pose when it's balanced. Coming forward, lining shoulders over wrists. You can take your knees down if you want, or lower with the power of your arms down onto your belly. Coming up with the power of lifting your chest comes from the low back and the glutes and the core, not our arms. So lift up that chest. Arms can just rest, fingers can rest lightly. Toenails connect. We breathe, warming that low back. And then press back up, downward facing dog. Finding your right leg, lift it up, swing it through, coming all the way up, crescent lunge. Now we're going to take it through the lower part of the sun salutation, hands down, step back to your plank, lower down your own way. Choose to do a cobra or a sphinx or even an up dog. Take 5 breaths once you get there. The sphinx, your elbows are underneath shoulders, forearms are in the mat. It's a little bit of more of a belly stretch here. And supported by our arms as we lift up here rather than just lifting your chest. From wherever you are, take it back to your downward facing dog. Find your left leg and bring it through, and all the way up, crescent lunge. Hands come to heart center. We step forward into our mountain, putting it all together. 2 rounds of sun salutations, giving you the option to step back with the left leg and then the right, or vice versa. Or jump back, but we're going to do 2 rounds. We'll meet back here at forward fold. So coming into your mountain, when you're ready, inhale up, work your way down, inhale halfway, hands to the floor. We're going to step one leg, then the other back. We're at plank. We're going to press forward so that we're lined up properly and lower down. Cobra, sphinx, or up dog. Downward facing dog. Same leg that stepped back. Gonna step forward for me anyway. So I can keep it straight. Forward fold, we inhale halfway. We exhale back down, bend those knees, other side. Meeting at forward fold, front of the mat. So we're going to inhale halfway. We're going to sink back into a chair. We're going to shift over to the right side, coming up onto the left toe or lifting that knee right off the ground, the foot right off the ground if you can for balance. Strength. Then we're going to take this left leg and we're going to send it back into a warrior 3. So it takes a little balance. You You can have any hands. They can touch the floor, they can reach out in front, they can be at heart center, they can go airplane. But send that left leg back, try to level your hips out, point the toe down toward the floor. Just holding here. One more breath. Left foot comes down, we're back to our forward fold. Practicing this for a reason. We have a challenge move coming up in a moment. Let's inhale halfway, extend that spine. Sink those knees, coming into chair. Lift that torso, shift over to the left, onto the right toe or all the way up. One-legged chair. Now we're going to send that right leg back into our whatever version of Warrior 3 we are able to get to today. Toes point down, leg straightens, hips level. We balance as best we can. One more breath. Right foot comes down, we're back to our mountain. Stand up tall. Next inhale, lift. Work your way down, moving through that sun salutation. I'm going to have you pause at the bottom. Inhale halfway. Hands to the floor, step it back into your plank. Lower down. And from here, we're going to press back into our child's pose. So I'm going to have you watch me for a second. So coming up, you can sit here and just stretch the quads a little bit with your feet. You can find whatever's comfortable, but I want you to watch what we're going to do next. We're going to come from a down dog into a forward fold back of the mat. So we're going to combine some strength here with some balance. So from here, we're going to lift a left foot behind us, coming into a Warrior 3 with our hands on the floor. Then we're going to use our strength. So this right leg is as straight as we can get it. We're going to lift up from the floor. Woo! And come forward into crescent lunge. One more time. Let me just show you that move. So we're going to start in forward fold. We're going to lift our left leg first behind us, coming into the Warrior 3 with support on the floor. Then we're going to use our core strength to lift up, to bring that leg through into our crescent lunge. All right, are we ready? So from where you are, come forward onto all fours, lift up into your downward facing dog. If yours doesn't look quite like mine, that's okay. We're just trying this. We're going to walk our hands back to our feet, coming into our forward fold. We're going to lift our left leg behind us, coming into that Warrior 3, just on our fingertips so we can straighten the right leg as much as possible here. Find your strength. Draw that knee. So you're going to lift your torso up. Draw that knee forward. Send it forward. And lift up into your crescent lunge. 2 breaths. Beautiful. Let's do it again. Hands come down. We step back. Downward facing dog. Walk our hands back to our feet. Lift that left leg behind us. Point the toe down. Find our strength, lift up. See if we can make it smoother. 2 breaths. I know you don't want me to say this, but one more time. Send it back. Downward facing dog. Walk your hands back. Send that left leg up. Find your power, lift up. Send it through. 2 breaths. This time we're going to take it through the bottom half of the sun salutation. So hands come down, we step back to plank. We lower, press forward and lower. Cobra, Sphinx or up dog. Downward facing dog. Walk your hands back to your feet, coming into forward fold. Now we're going to work on that right leg 3 times. So we send that right leg back, lift it up on our fingertips, straightening the left leg, pointing that right toe down. First, get into position. Then we find our strength, lift it up, bring our hands together, send it forward. In my case, wobble around, and we're at crescent lunge, 2 breaths. Let's do it 2 more times, your own pace. So, downward facing dog first. Walk it back. Excuse me. Warrior 3 from the floor. Find your power. Two breaths. Last one. Right leg. Find your power. Make it fluid. 2 breaths. It's okay to wobble. Do the sun salutation. Meet me back. Downward facing dog. All right, from this downward facing dog, come down onto your knees. Spin it around to seated. We had a request for hips and glutes today. So let's take one back of the leg stretch without having to bend forward and over. Choosing to have your legs together or to take it wide. I'm going to go wide. Using your hands, if you need them, to press down behind you to get your spine tall, to get a really good connection between sits bones and heel, and back of the leg all the way down. Pressing forward, leading with your heart if you need more. Keep it in your legs. But some of you may not have tightness in your legs, so you might get a back stretch out of it if you're able to reach around your feet and lay down on your legs. Something I can only dream of. Just letting the backs of our legs relax without having our hamstrings doing any work here to hold us upright. All right, walking it in. Let's go to all right, so I'm going to give you the option here to either go on your back to do a pigeon, to do seated figure 4, or to do the full pigeon if you want. We're going to start with the left leg in front. So left leg in front of the right knee from the seated position on your back or on the front of the mat. I'm going to use my right leg to walk it up to get a deeper stretch for my left hip. Apparently I need water, sorry. When I say hip, a lot of us will think outside of the hip, but the hip, there's many parts of it, and there's many connections that it makes, so you might be feeling it more on the inner leg here, you might be feeling it more in your hamstring area, or on the outside, or maybe all 3. But just recognize where you're feeling the tightness. Hopefully that you are stretching some of it out in this figure 4 from whatever position you're in. Keep your left foot active. All right, from wherever you are, unwind it, shake it out, and move the right ankle in front of the left knee. And work your way up to a position that feels like a stretch for some part of your right hip area. Active right foot if you can, pressing out through the ball. If you're in the full position on your mat, you can just make sure your foot's not flopping. You can't really press through the ball of your foot so much there, but you can make it a little more active. Sometimes every time we activate a part, we feel the stretch a little deeper. Couple more breaths here, focusing on the right hip area. And unwind, release. So we're all going to head on to our back, so some of you might be there already. Bringing those knees into your chest. Take a moment to focus on your low back and rock, or roll, or happy baby. It's whatever feels good to you. we're going to do a glute stretch to end, but if you prefer to do a twist for your low back or something else, you can do that as well, and then we'll still have time for a little Shavasana. So those of you doing a glute stretch, let's take our right leg long, bring our right hand across and draw the left knee over to the right side. So for me, I always need to plug in my heel and just move it around till I find the spot that works for me today to lengthen the left glute. Left shoulder bone stays on the ground. Just finding some easy breaths. And now let's switch. Let's let our left leg go long. Bend that right one up, left hand draws the right knee across, and we find the spot where it feels like our best lengthening stretch on the right glute. And we hold that position with a nice easy breath, keeping our right shoulder bone on the ground. Back to center. I'm going to suggest that some of you bring your soles of your feet together, let your knees fall open, arms come down alongside with palms facing the sky, coming into your reclined butterfly for one more hip release. But I'm also going to start the final song for Shavasana, so if you prefer to roll right into just relaxation. It's a dark day where I am, so when it is a dark day, sometimes I like to play a song that brings in light. So there are words to this song. I hope you're okay with that.